Hey everyone, so one of the most common questions that I started getting these days is how do I finance my MMA training, especially when it involves traveling around the world, visiting different gyms and living in different countries. Now that I'm actually considering to do it much more, to go even to more varied places, more different gyms, I am certain that this question will keep popping up even more. And so instead of answering to each individual comment again and again, I decided to just make this video, break down my approach of how I finance myself, how I find ways about it, and hopefully which will be valuable to you. And so you will learn all about that in this martial arts journey video. Now, to be straightforward and to just let you know, the primary source of my finances is actually YouTube. Now, before you turn off this video and run out starting your own YouTube channel, let me tell you that running a YouTube channel and reaching the critical amount of views that starts to give you finances, it is a very difficult job. It's much harder than actually most people think it is. The idea of YouTube is so attractive, and there's many people that I know that when they hear that I earned revenue from YouTube, they suddenly decide, oh, you know what, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel as well. If he can do it, I'll easily do it as well. And they just, they imagine they're gonna take a funny cat video, put it online, and it's gonna go viral and they'll be rich. But that's not how it works, especially not these days anymore. It took me 3 years of running my YouTube channel, uploading at least 2 videos each week for 3 years non-stop until I started earning enough so I could turn pro in YouTube and do it full time. I also spent at least a half of a year investigating like mad on how the YouTube algorithm works, looking at different channels, comparing them, going to conferences. So I did a lot of investigation, so it's not just random success that some of my videos have. Now, I'll probably make a separate video on how to start and run a successful martial arts channel later on in the future, but just to let you know, yes, YouTube is one of my primary sources of income, but it's not the only one. There's many other things that I use in order to make these trips possible, so I'm going to let you know all about that. But as we move on, I'll just remind you that yes, YouTube is not as easy as you think, but how it works, I'll let you know another time. Now, a mindset that I use in terms of financing myself is a quote from Warren Buffett, where he says that you should never have just one single source of income. And I feel that's such a great idea, and it helped me a lot myself, because if you have one source of revenue which is sustaining you, nothing is ever constant. Nothing is always going on the same line. Sometimes it's going to get better, sometimes it's going to get worse, and it's going to go down. And if you don't have a secondary source of income which can compensate, you will be in trouble, or you will be in constant stress because you'll be relying only on one source. Now, as the first source starts to go down, maybe the second one will go up and it will sustain that. But if you have a third one, maybe if those two go down, maybe you can work more and the third one will go up and it will compensate those. And it kind of always, when the third one starts to fluctuate, then the first one picks up. It's when you have a few multiple sources of income, it's just so much easier to be stress-free and to always know that you will have enough revenue and that you always have different options. So that's something that I definitely rely on. And the way I get finances from other places, so first of all, by doing YouTube, I learned to film videos, I learned to edit videos. It's becoming more and more common that people just ask me and hire me to film a seminar, to edit videos for them, which is very comfortable too, because they can send me their videos from different countries, different places. I don't need to necessarily always be locally there. And when I travel, filming is useful in any country, anywhere. It becomes easier and easier to get those jobs and to get those finances. Another way I earn my finances is online, and that is through Patreon. And although I don't put any energy, unfortunately, into Patreon, but there's some people who are kind enough and generous enough to support me, which I really appreciate. So it's not a lot of money, but every month I get some. And I also have released a couple of instructionals on Aikido, on safe folding and rolling, which I feel is one of the valuable parts of Aikido, which is unique to it. And while I don't get much, again, it's like $100 or $150 per month, each month, just because those instructionals are there, people buy them. While it's not much, it's still great to know that each month I will get that additional 100, and that makes me feel better, and that gives me more options. And even when I travel and focus on different things, those streams of revenue are still supporting me. That being said, though, there's something really important that I feel is necessary to share, and it's a mindset that helps me tremendously. To describe it, I feel that too many people focus, first of all, primarily on just money, and too many people focus on just taking things, and they don't think enough about what they could give. So let me explain to you in detail what I mean. So first of all, if you focus on just money and you look at a program, let's say an MMA program in a different country, and you think about, the accommodation and everything, and let's say it's $2,000 per month, and then you think, oh, I don't have $2,000, okay, so it's not possible, and I won't do it. And that's where most people get stuck, and that's where most people's dreams get killed. But the thing is, money is actually a symbol of exchanging favors, of exchanging value. And if you perceive it as in that way, you start to realize that not everything needs to rely on specifically money. So for example, myself, every time before every trip or project that I make, I always ask myself, what value can I create to that person or that organization, that business that I'm going to visit, and how can I exchange value? So for example, when I was going to Portland, I made a deal with head coach Matt Thornton already before I went there that I will film videos for him, that I will, if they will need my help in video advertisements, to film those advertisements, that I will be always available. Also, I made a point that I will be promoting their gym by publishing for half a year videos about them. Also too, what helped is that me and Coach Matt Thornton, we already were in connection for quite a while of exchanging messages and emails, and we had talks on online. And so having that connection and explaining my situation in detail, that made it possible for him to help me out. Before I came, he helped me find a place to rent, which is very important for me because, when you travel to a different unknown country far away, it's always such a stress to find a location. So that was a tremendous help, and he was generous in helping me set up. But I feel all of that was there because we had a genuine connection. I explained my situation and I offered some value to him. Because of that, he gave me a generous reduction on the training, and that helped me tremendously. If I wouldn't have gotten that reduction, probably I wouldn't have been able to do it. More or less the same actually happened here at SBG Ireland. I met Coach John Kavanagh, the founder of SBG Ireland, before my trip here, and even before I came here, I started filming videos for him for his YouTube channel, and also managing his YouTube channel, which I do up to today. And also while I'm here around the gym, if he needs a video advertisement, I film it, I edit it for him, and all of that for, again, an exchange in a generous discount, which again makes it all possible. Without that, I don't know if I would pull it off. Obviously, the fact that I'm not a big spender helps. So for example, I do not buy new clothes, I do not buy fancy clothes, and on a day-to-day basis, I don't spend much money, I don't buy luxury food, and sometimes I do like to go have a nice dinner, but that's only occasional. And again, that helps me a lot because I don't have to have a big source of income. But even on this level, I always apply that same mindset as well. So for example, lately I needed a gi and a rash guard, and I was low on money, and luckily I was connected with a person who is manufacturing them. Actually, interesting enough, this rash guard that I'm wearing, this actually has been sponsored to me as an exchange, because I will be wearing this in my videos, I will be wearing this in the pictures I post, and so again, it's mutual benefits. I got some sponsored gear, and there's going to be benefit to them as well. But note that it wasn't just me saying, oh, I need a rash guard, give me a rash guard. I always think, again, how can I be valuable to that person, and to make sure I articulate that value and I present it. So while not being a big spender and having a YouTube channel, it helps tremendously. At the same time, I cannot stress enough how important I feel that mindset is, of thinking not of what I can take from something or someone else, but instead to think of what I can give to someone else or to something. And now again, before you start saying, oh, well, you have your YouTube channel and that's it, that's just an excuse. Again, there's always a way out. There's always an alternative solution. The question is whether you will be smart enough to find it. So again, always ask yourself, how can you be valuable yourself from the abilities and skills you have? It can be as simple as maybe you can offer to clean the gym for a reduction. Maybe you are good at fixing things. Every gym needs someone to fix things. Always ask yourself, what skill set do you have right now? Maybe you know programming. Maybe you can create a website for that gym or that place. Maybe you can help out with the kids program. There's so many options that you can offer. And as another example, example, when I lived in Switzerland for a few years as an Aikido living student, again, I did not have enough money, so I found alternative ways as well. I was cleaning the house of my sensei each week. I was walking a dog of a friend for money. Eventually, when I got my black belt, I started teaching private lessons. Everybody knew that I need money and that I'm short on money, so if somebody needs something to fix at their house, they would call me. My Aikido instructor would hire me to build something in the dojo. So always, I was searching for ways how to compensate and get some additional money from just being basically useful. And just one more thing that I want to express is obviously that it helps tremendously if you have a skill set or a source of income that is what I call mobile. So for example, me running a YouTube channel, I don't need to be at a specific location to run it. Or the Udemy instructional courses that I have, again, they're online and they support me that way. Or video editing, you know, anybody can send me a video from anywhere. And again, also too, if I go to any different country, every country will need a video editor. Every country will need, you know, someone who understands YouTube. So I also encourage you to ask what kind of skill set do you have or you could develop to be able to do that as well. And maybe you know programming and you can program from anywhere. You can take programming gigs and do them while traveling. Maybe you can give online lessons, let's say even like English lessons online. There's so many different options. So if you have a skill set, ask yourself, you know, how can it be useful to the place that you want to have a direct contact with and you want to train at, or ask how can you make it more mobile. And if you don't have a skill set yet, start working on it. Ask yourself, what could it be? Maybe learn programming, you know, maybe learn how to teach English. Maybe you are good with instruments. Start teaching online how to play a guitar. Again, it's endless. We live in such good times with so many possibilities, but oftentimes people are too lazy and too egocentrical to think about others. How can they provide value to others? And as long as you provide value to others, you will get value back. That's a huge game changer. Personally, I had to work my ass off to start my YouTube channel. I put a lot of time and energy to learn how to edit videos. I put a lot of time and energy into learning how to film. And also, I invested a lot of money into the gear, and I keep investing more and more money into the gear to be able to produce even more and more value. And with time, it becomes easier because you become better, you start to get more connections, you start to get better gear, but you have to start somewhere. So think about what value you can give. If you can't give something specific yet, make a plan. Make a plan of what skill can you develop. Even like, again, fixing things, being a carpenter, there's so many different things that can be useful. Develop that skill, present yourself, start a connection with the place you want to train, and start making things happen from there. So to sum it up, again, I cannot stress enough how important it is to consider what you can give to others instead of just asking what others can give to you. Now, before I end this video, just let me know in the comments if you have other big questions that you want me to answer, and if there'll be recurring questions, I'll be happy to make another video about it. If you have more questions about how I finance my trips, but I think I broke it down well enough. But yeah, I feel I said enough for this time, and until we meet next time, I wish you to own your journey.